Alright guys, Monday, May the 4th. It's Tush coming at you from the Tush Mahal. A little cleaner Tush Mahal. I spent the day yesterday out here doing a little bit of cleaning and organizing. It may not look like it to you, but it's definitely much more organized and much cleaner out here. Had both doors open. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I managed to get it swept out and blown out. Looks a little better, a little more organized. I moved a few things around here and there. And as part of that process, I went through all my parts bins again for the TR250 project. Set up a table here. We've got some stuff lined up that we're going to be blasting over the next couple of days, blasting and painting. I did push the sandblaster back, so we'll have to pull that back out again. But let me go through what I've got on the table here that we're going to be working on the next day or two. So we have the sliding axles, the two pieces. This goes to the differential. Is the other piece attached to the hub. The hubs I'm actually not going to be using. I've actually got upgraded Richard Good hubs already purchased up in my storage room upstairs. So I just really need the axles. I would have loved to have gone to the CV axles for these, but they're quite pricey. So we're just going to stick with the stock sliding axles for the rear of the car. Some trailing arm shims. These were removed from the old frame that I'm no longer using. I think we'll just turn that down a little bit. Alright, so back to the trailing arm shim. So I'm no longer using that frame, so we don't have a good count on what I'm going to be using for the new frame. The new frame arrived to me stripped bare, so we're basically starting from scratch. But what I'm going to do anyway is I'm going to clean these shims up. They're pretty rusty, so we're going to give these a good spray and a good quick coat of paint, so when I go to see the alignment shop, I can bring the shims with me and they can work on them with nice clean and fresh shims. So we'll clean those up. Headlight buckets we've got here, and I was just taking a look at these yesterday while I was kind of hanging out in the garage just listening to tunes in the afternoon. They've seen better days. I've got a few little rust holes actually. Now I could just go and buy these, but anyway, I'm trying to use what I have. So I think what I'll do is I'll sandblast these up and I'll do a little welding project and fix these as best as possible. And then we'll see if we can reutilize those. Those are the inners of the buckets there as well that I need to go through. Pulled the steering column out. That needs to be stripped down and painted up. So we're going to probably do that. The clutch line, I've got the dip switch for the headlights. The dip stick. The brake booster, the starter solenoid. This is an under dash support bracket. These are the plates that fit under the wiper wheel boxes. I pulled out a couple of more rear brake drums, but I've actually got these done already. So these are a spare set, but I pulled them out anyway because I think I recall that I need the actual little pins here and the little locking plates. So we'll keep those together. I know, like I said, I went back through my videos and I've already done a set of the brake back plates. I actually have all of the hardware here for them in a separate bag, so I'm going to go through those and clean those up as well. It's the brake adjuster and the brake cylinders, the rear brake cylinders. Got the old yellow plastic fan here. I'm still not quite sure whether I'm going to go with a mechanical fan or an electric fan, or a combination. I think what I'll probably end up doing is going with a combination, have the stock mechanical fan, and then we'll run an auxiliary electric fan for times when we need it. Now I think I actually have another yellow plastic fan blade for the 250. It's actually probably off an early 6 in my storage outside, and I may actually go and look and see if I can find that, see if it's any better condition than this one. This one's not bad. It's not chipped or broken or anything, but it obviously needs to be painted, so I'd have to get some plastic paint for this. So I may actually just, like I said, go in the storage shed and see if I can find the other one. The storage shed outside needs to be gone through anyway, so that might be a good reason to actually go through the storage shed. A couple of pedal boxes here. I believe this is the one that came off the 250 right here in the back, but I've actually got one that I think I'd done in a previous project where it's actually already been stripped and painted. So I think we'll just clean this up and check it out. We'll check the bushings and everything to make sure it's okay. And we may just go with that pedal box. I believe they're the same, and I'll just do a quick comparison between the two before I make that decision. So that'll save me a little bit of work, having pre-done some work for a previous project and not use that box. So we may just, like I said, go with this one. So a few projects on the table here that necessarily don't need to be done, just sort of need to be looked at. And the rest of it, we're going to start today stripping. And I think what we'll probably start first with is probably the headlight buckets, since those need a little bit more work than just stripping. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll bring you back now and again for updates. And incidentally, just a quick note on the weather front. We had a beautiful day yesterday. It was over 20 degrees Celsius. So 20 degrees Celsius is about 72, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. But apparently we're in a bit of a polar vortex, they say. So by the weekend here, it's supposed to be in the minuses overnight, and with highs of around +3 or +4. So we're going to be all the way down, probably to about around 35, 38 degrees, somewhere around there. So it's going to be cold here over the weekend, that's for sure. So I'm not going to have much of an opportunity to get these painted unless I crack the heat on out here. I did run out of kerosene the last time I was out here in the garage, so don't necessarily want to have to buy any more kerosene. So we actually might have to plug the electric heater back in that I've unplugged and planned on putting away for the season, but that may not be the case yet. I still have my snow shovel by my front door because you never know. It's still May. I think one of the problems with these old buckets is I'm going to have problems getting probably these little plastic tabs that the adjuster screws go into. This one's already cracked, so I'm not too worried about putting that in the sandblaster. And missing one on this one, so I definitely need to get new ones if I use these tabs, or I need to come up with another solution. But anyway, just thought I'd take a quick look at those. Those are the little things I'm talking about. So I'm not sure if I can find those or not. You guys know if I can. Leave a note in the comments. But I might have to buy the whole bucket just to be able to get those. Alright, those are ready for the blaster. All the wiring's been pulled out, and we'll probably keep those harnesses. They look to be in not too bad a shape, so those might be going back in the car. We'll see. We'll clean them up a little bit more, and we'll check the wiring before we decide whether we're going to use those again or not. Alright guys, a little before and after action. So we got a few holes, a little lacy. Should be able to fix it up though. Anyway, we'll give her our best shot. So this one I don't think has as much rust. I don't think this one has any holes, surprisingly. It's amazing how one can have holes and the other one can't. But I guess we'll see when it comes out of the blaster what it looks like. Alright, number 2. Alright, number 2 is done. And just a little tiny pinhole there. And the rest of it actually looks pretty good. Alright, so move on to these. These look a little worse for wear. Let's see how these clean up. This one's actually better. Alright, we'll throw those in the blaster. That's definitely not looking so good on the first one. Alright, let's get to doing this one. This one looks much better. We'll see. Alright, second one's out of the blasters. Absolutely no issues with this one. That's the little hole for the spring. So yeah, that one's fine. And like I said, this one's got some issues. Anyway, we'll figure out what to do. Doesn't really make sense to repair these, but on the 250s and the 4s and the 4As, the buckets are seen. Not like the TR6. These buckets are actually seen on the inside of the engine bay. There's nothing covering these up. So I want to make sure that these look good. These are on the inside of the bucket, so you obviously don't see these, so they're less important how they look. They just need to be functional, so not so concerned about this. We'll just concentrate on really making the repairs here look good if we can. They don't look to be too difficult, but if it doesn't look good enough in the end, then we'll just buy new ones. Alright, we'll start working on these. Alright, here's the plan. We're going to cut out a section here, and we're going to try to keep it within the contours of the flat part. I'm going to try to keep it away from the bend. There's a little bit of a hole here that's on the bend that I may just be able to plug up with a bit of weld. We'll cut that out there, like so. And we'll cut this out here, like so. And then we'll pare this little part out the front. So we're going to break out the little, and then there's some pinholes that I'm hoping I can just plug with the MIG welder and not have to actually patch that. But we'll see how we do when it comes to trying to MIG weld those shut and whether it blows through or not. But anyway, we'll break out the little Dremel and we'll start cutting some pieces out. Alright, here's the first two cutouts, prepped, just ground around the edges slightly. So we're going to create a patch to put in there, and we'll see how easy or hard it is to weld. Metal seems to be pretty thin actually, just in general. This is not a real heavy piece, so anyway, we'll find some 18 gauge or maybe 20 gauge metal to go into here. We'll turn the welder down a little bit and see if we can weld this successfully. We'll come back. Alright, there's the first little patch created, and I just sort of bent it by hand to fit. Seems to fit okay. The challenge will be getting to actually weld this in. So anyway, we'll tack it up and we'll see what happens. Alright guys, there's one patch down. I guess it's not too bad considering it's very thin. There it is on the back side. So I basically got my welder pretty much all the way down as far as I can go. Wire speed 2, voltage at A, or my A setting, which is my lowest setting. So yeah, anyway, that's done. We'll grind that down. Anyway, we'll play around with this patch first and then we'll grind it down. I'm pretty close to running out of gas, I think, too, so who knows if we'll get this done or not. With my luck, probably not. Alright guys, second patch is welded in. There it is on the outside. And there's where I welded it on the inside. So we'll see how well we can grind this down and see what it looks like on the outside at least. I'm not too concerned about the inside. As long as the bulb fits in there, we're okay. We'll see what we can make the outside look like, and we'll go from there. Still one more little patch to do there, and a few little pinholes that I'm hoping won't open up into big pinholes. We're getting there. Alright guys, we're doing pretty good so far. I'm happy with the repairs so far on those two patches. They look pretty good, pretty seamless. Not bad on the inside. I haven't gone crazy on the grinding, but I think that looks okay. Still a few little pinholes. I can see a couple little pinholes in my where I've ground it down, so we'll repair those when I repair the rest of the little pinholes. I think what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll fix this other little area that needs to be welded first, and after I finish cutting that out and welding that piece up, we'll go back and we'll attack all the little pinholes, and we'll call this one done. We'll move on to the next one. Next one should be a piece of cake compared to this one. Alright guys, it's Tuesday, May the 5th. Just back out here having a look at the repairs we did yesterday. And they don't look too bad. There's still some pinholes to fill up. So it's looking better though. So we'll continue on today. We'll probably fill up the rest of the pinholes and maybe do a little tiny bit of Bondo work on this before we go ahead and put it into black paint. That's it for now guys. We'll bring you back when we start working on the next one. Alright guys, quick 5 o'clock update. I've been out here working on some parts. I did get the buckets into primer and they don't look too bad. Tough call on whether it's actually worth it to try to rescue the ones you have. That took me a lot of time and effort actually to chase all those little holes and to make those couple patches. So it might be worth your while to buy those if you've got time like I do. You might want to take it on as a challenge and fix them up yourselves. I cannot rescue this inner piece. There's just too much damage on this. There's really no metal left to weld to. It's so thin. So I'm going to be looking for another one of these. The other one survived. I believe this is the passenger side. The passenger side seems to be better than the driver's side on this car. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking for one of those. Starter solenoid is done. Dip switch is done. Under bracket dash support bracket is done. These are for under the wiper spindles, wheel boxes, the wheel box covers, I guess they call them. Spacer for the brake booster. Brake booster's over here. Just a quick tip for anybody wanting to block off somewhere where you don't want to get any sand. It's good to, tinfoil comes in handy to wrap stuff or to plug holes, etc. So that turned out pretty good. Clutch master, our clutch slave line, dipstick is done. What else? I think that's about it. As far as this table is concerned, I started working on the spacers over here. They're a bit of a pain in the butt just because there's so many of them. So we'll blast those in our spare time, I guess. As far as the hubs are concerned, I'm going to separate the sliding axles from the hubs, and I'm going to remove the U-joints, and I'm going to remove the flanges. I am not going to paint these yet. I'm just going to clean them and I'm going to blast them, but I'm going to save the painting until the new U-joints go in. I've done this before in the past, and if you paint them and then try to put your new U-joints in, you're just going to screw up your paint. So we'll resist the urge to paint these straight off, and we'll wait to put the U-joints in and then paint them. Steering column is going to be a manual job, so that's not going anywhere near the sandblaster, so that'll just be a hand sand and finish. These brake back plates, as I mentioned, I don't require them. The only thing I require are the little hold down tabs, so that's why they're still on the table. The yellow fan, still, again, I think I have another one somewhere, and I still haven't decided whether I'm going to go with a mechanical fan or not. I do have a fan eliminator kit that I've already purchased if I want to go just to a straight electric fan. So we may do that. Again, I'm not sure on that yet. We'll see. Pedal box, I've determined that this pedal box is more than usable. It's nice and tight, so this one will be a backup. We'll keep it as a spare. You never know when we get another TR6 or TR250. Actually, that might fit a TR4. No, I don't think it fits a TR4. Might fit a TR4A, but who knows. Anyway, have a backup just in case I need that somewhere down the line. All right, so there's your update. I'm trying to figure out when I want to get this stuff into paint. It's a little cold up in the garage tonight. It's only about 60 degrees and falling rapidly. I believe tomorrow will probably be a better day to paint. So I think it's probably going to be closer to 65 to 70 tomorrow. If not, we can get out here and give it a bit of heat from the small electric heater. I might have to plug that back in temporarily. Good thing I didn't put it away. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll break these out and get them into paint tomorrow. Maybe I'll upload this video for tonight so you can see that I'm out here and still working on the car. It's been a couple days since I've put a video out, so maybe we'll do that. We'll stop here, show you where I'm at, and then we'll continue in the garage tomorrow and get this stuff painted. All right, that's it, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for watching.